Now that you have Telegram FX Copier installed, let's talk about the best ways to set this up and use it. Like any system that gets used to make money, you want to set this up and test it thoroughly before you ever commit any funds. This is serious business, and you need to treat it like a serious business. If you're too impatient or hasty to do that, then successful trading is not for you. So let's talk about the copier. The copier uses something called optical character recognition, or OCR, to pull trade signals from Telegram, and then it converts them into orders for MetaTrader. OCR is a very well-developed system. It's used by major financial institutions, hospitals, accounting. A lot of industries use this, and it has really high accuracy. But the thing is, it doesn't understand, it doesn't have any intelligence built into it. So what you have to do is you have to tell it essentially what it's looking for and then what to do with those terms when those appear, right? So it's a very flexible copier. It'll copy pretty much any signal with some caveats, and I'll explain that later, as long as the settings in the EA are correct. Now, it comes pre-filled with certain terms, and in most cases, that's all you're going to need. Like if you're trading currencies, the pre-filled terms are going to work for you. But sometimes you're going to get errors initially, or you're going to miss trades, and I want you to understand what's happening and how to fix it, right? Like I said, it doesn't understand words. It can't interpret anything. So it will only do what we tell it to do. All right, so let's take a look. Let's look at gold here. XAU USD. All right. So notice here we've got all of these input fields, right? And we're going to talk about the symbols themselves. When you open this up, when you install it for the first time, what you're going to see here in this section, mineral symbols as written by the channel that you're following, right? So this is telling it what terms to look for. Okay, so when you first install it, you're going to notice it doesn't say XAU USD, it says gold. But the channel that I'm following uses the term XAU USD, right? So I had to change it because when a signal would come through, the EA would say, I know what gold is. I know what I'm supposed to do with gold if I see the word gold, but I don't know what XAU USD is. And so if your provider uses the term gold, that's great. If your signal provider uses XAU USD or XAU/USD or hashtag gold or any version of that symbol that is different than what you have here, you're going to get an error. Okay? So you need to take a look at your provider and make sure that you are putting in the terms that they're using here in this field, mineral symbols. The other thing to know is there is a flow. The way that the code is written, there is a flow of symbols that it's going to look for. And so what you need to do is replace the old word with the correct symbol that your provider uses. Okay? And then you'll notice here corresponding symbols in broker terminal. Okay, this is another area that you need to make sure that you understand what symbol your broker uses. Okay, do they use XAU USD? Do they use XAU USD.M? Do they use some other version, some suffix, right? So what we're going to do next is we're going to go take a look. Here, we're going to click on this, mineral symbols, right? And then we're going to bring up all the symbols. Okay, so for metals, let's take a look at metals. So we can see, yeah, they are using XAU USD. So we will get a successful trade using the terms that are in the EA currently. Let's look at indexes. So let's say NASDAQ 100. The symbol they use is ND100M. That's what the broker uses. Let's take a look here. What do we have? What is our stock term? For NASDAQ, US 100. Okay, so if your signal provider is using the term NASDAQ, or maybe they're using NQ or ND100 or whatever version of NASDAQ, but you're using US 100, you're going to get a trade error. It won't pick up the trade. Okay, so you need to make sure that you have the right term, ND100M, in that field. Okay, that way the broker knows what you're talking about. All right. So then the last thing let's look at is the ignore settings. Okay, if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, words and expressions to ignore. Okay, so let's say your signal provider uses a hashtag. You want to put the hashtag in there because the system will see the hashtag and it will say, I don't know what that is. So you got to tell it to ignore certain symbols. Or let's say that your provider likes to use the term trade update, right? And you want to ignore that when he posts a trade update. You don't want it to take another trade, right? So that'll help you avoid a lot of errors, all right? Remember, this is a business. Treat it like a business. Be serious about it. Put in the work, and you can make good money using this setup to help you. In the next video, we're going to cover some complex setups that you can use to adjust your risk and improve system reliability. You see that I've got localized versions of the EA running here, in addition to this sort of global version that covers everything. You can attach these to a chart individually and then set individual parameters and all kinds of cool stuff. So we'll talk about that in the next video. Thanks for watching.